What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. As a depressed Philadelphia Eagle fan, I literally could not think and get this week started. It's just so cloudy with depression of like, I just don't care about football. I couldn't come to play you have to be in a certain mindset to play Thunderbirds, right? Or do a rebuild. And I just feel like at this point, let me do a mock draft. Philly's sucking. And this also goes out to the Vikings fans, the Falcons fans, the Broncos fans out there. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. I just need to get something positive for my team being bad so that I can go on with the rest of my week. So it's a perfect time to implement a mock draft here. We have a mystery substance, which is hopefully going to help us make this an entertaining mock draft, but it's a mock draft nonetheless. Way too early. It's only been 3 weeks of the NFL season, but for some of us out there, we need some hope. We need a glimmer of hope that while we suck, there's going to be like I said, the silver lining that we're going to get a great player out of it. Even though Philly's terrible and we're still picking mid 14, it's only going to get better if the Eagles keep on keeping on. So let's get into this mock draft, baby, using the draftnetwork.com mock draft machine. At pick 1, I have the Jets selecting Trevor Lawrence. This is a perfect time for the Jets to hit the reset button. It looks like Adam Gase might get fired depending on how things go this Thursday night, Jets and Broncos. But this is a perfect reset. You reset, you fire Adam Gase. At pick 1, you fire Adam Gase. I'd be making a call to the Big 12. There's a coach that I think should make the jump from college to the pros, and he just lost to Kansas State. He's probably not going to play for a national championship, and he just shits out Heisman Trophy winners. So if I'm the Jets, I'm backing up the Brinks truck to get Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley can get the most hyped up and deservedly so quarterback prospect of all time. Especially if Clemson can find a way to win the national championship this year, which they're probably going to be they're going to make the playoffs. If Lawrence wins that, he's going to surpass, I think, undoubtedly Andrew Luck as like the perfect quarterback prospect coming out of college. So you do not pass up on the opportunity to say, oh, well, maybe we could salvage Sam Darnold. No. What you do is you do exactly what the Arizona Cardinals did. They got their college coach in Cliff Kingsbury. They drafted pick 1 overall. They got the best quarterback from college in Kyler Murray. And then you ship on Josh Rosen. When you're the Jets, you should be able to get more value for Sam Darnold than what the Cardinals got for Josh Rosen. I'm looking at Pittsburgh, right now, when we do this mock draft, Pittsburgh picks at 25. If I'm the Steelers at 25, you've already seen the Steelers give up first-round capital to get Minkah Fitzpatrick. If I'm the Steelers, I'm giving 25 every day of the week to get Sam Darnold. So the Jets are laughing. The Jets are in a perfect scenario to blow this one up. You got multiple picks. You got the Jamal Adams first. It's the best rebuild. So do all those moves. Lincoln Riley, Trevor Lawrence, and find a way to ship off Sam Darnold for a first-rounder. All those things could potentially happen. So pick 2, we got the New York Giants. I think interesting picker. I could not rule out a quarterback. They could just be getting sick and tired of Danny Dimes and his turnovers. They could get Sewell and bring in another tackle. I just don't think the optics of getting 2 back-to-back top 5 tackles. I mean, that is Dave Gettleman, right? But I think the Giants are in this situation again. They could be moving on from Dave Gettleman. So I just think the best player that fixes what's wrong with the Giants at this point in time, and just going back-to-back tackle. I think Sewell would be a good pick. Really solid pick here. I'm going to go Micah Parsons. He's not really... It says linebacker. You might say linebacker at pick 2. Linebackers don't go top 3. You could just as easily put edge rusher there. He is a do-it-all linebacker. The way I compare it, he's like Darius Leonard if Darius Leonard was a great athlete. Darius Leonard's like the most productive linebacker in the NFL. Always all-pro conversation. Second-team all-pro. Rookie of the year. I think with Micah Parsons, you're going to get a guy that will be able to give you 6, 7, 8 sacks, edge rusher production, as well as being able to drop back and cover tight ends and linebackers and be that linebacker the Giants just haven't had in a very long time. Like, what was the last good Giants linebacker? I honestly can't even remember. Antonio Pierce? No, there's definitely been someone better than that since then. But either way, I think, yeah, Micah Parsons or Sewell will be the pick here for the Giants. Well, if they go Micah Parsons, at pick 3, I have Sewell going to the Cincinnati Bengals. You get him to be you got your franchise quarterback in Joe Burrow. As old as Tom Brady is, the foundation of building a successful franchise. You get your franchise quarterback, you get your franchise tackle. Bada bing, bada boom. You flip over Jonah Williams to right tackle, and now this offensive line that has been a liability for the Cincinnati Bengals is slowly starting to become a strength. You can land a guard or something on the interior in free agency, kind of like what the Cleveland Browns did. You're looking good. You're looking good. Make a Jack Conklin-like move on the inside. Have Sewell, have Jonah Williams, and now you have ample production for Joe Burrow, and you're going to create a lot much more time for him to hit Boyd and Probably not John Ross, but hit Tyler Boyd and to free up holes for Joe Mixon. Pick 4 with the Denver Broncos. This is actually, out of this whole mock draft, one of the toughest picks for me to make. Because at pick 4, it's like, well, they're not going to go quarterback. They just went heavy at wide receiver. It's like, all right, we got an edge rusher here. Now, I think Rousseau is, he could definitely, I think he's better in a 4-3 than a 3-4, but definitely an edge rusher that you can find a way. He's that damn good. But you have Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. So unless they're going to get rid of Von Miller, which I guess they could, if he's not the same player off an injury, you make a salary cap cut. I think the secondary is more when you're looking. Patrick Surtain, the second, or junior, his dad was exceptional. I think we're going to go lockdown corner here. We saw premier corners will go high. Jeff Okudah to the Lions. And now I'm not saying, I think Okudah's, they're in the same tier. I don't think I would put Surtain ahead of Jeff Okudah, but this is a range that lockdown corners will go in today's NFL. So I just kind of feel like you're looking at the defense here for Denver. You look at, first of all, offensive line. Sewell's the guy they would have wanted. I don't think Leatherwood's worth top 4. Like, these are guys that, could go second round. Surtain's not going second round. So then it just comes down to, what are they getting back next year? You're going to get Von Miller back as an edge rusher, and you're going to get, AJ Boye back as a corner. Who is most likely to take a, step off, look a little bit more washed? I'm going to gamble that Von Miller's still going to be pretty good, and you might be a little bit more concerned in the secondary. But either way, if I'm Denver, I'm at 4. This is the board. I'm probably trading back. But if they had to go a position, I think corner is where they should. Pick 5, we have the Washington football team. Looking at their needs here, they absolutely could go quarterback. They could be fed up. It's a new regime. Ron Rivera has no ties to Dwayne Haskins. But I'm going to make an argument of, well, it's completely valid and they absolutely could go quarterback here. They do not have a whole lot of help for Dwayne Haskins. He hasn't had a legit running back. He hasn't had a legit staple of skill position players. When Logan Thomas, converted quarterback, is like your second most explosive receiver, you might not have the best talent around your quarterback to properly evaluate if this guy's a franchise QB or not. So for that being the argument, I'm going to have them get Jamarr Chase. Now, LSU looks like they're going to drop off quite a bit this year. Quarterback play's not that good. Jamarr Chase, if he could have, it's impossible, should have declared last year. Absolutely. I'm almoys looking at like Jamarr Chase. He probably should just, he should, LSU's not going to be brutal. They're still going to be ranked. But we saw with the loss week 1 of SEC, maybe he could have opted out. But either way, you're looking at wide receiver ones this year. 6'1", 210. Keep that in mind. 6'1", 210. He's absolutely a first rounder. Look at all the other wide receivers. Jalen Waddle, $180. You got Devonta Smith, $175. Rondale Moore, $180. These are absolutely first round caliber players, but they're more so niche. They're not your traditional outside, there's our franchise wide receiver. Jamarr Chase has that going for him. That is the biggest advantage he has. And I think you pair that with Scary Terry, you have a chance to get a proper evaluation on Dwayne Haskins, whether or not he's your guy. Because since he's been there in Washington, their offense hasn't really, there is an argument to be had that if you're a franchise quarterback, you're going to elevate everyone else. You're going to make lesser players look better. But in today's NFL, man, you need to have help. And Dwayne Haskins, I'm not saying, I'm not a truther. I think, honestly, if I'm Washington, I strongly consider Justin Fields or Trey Lance at that spot. But there also is that what if? What if we give some better weapons for Dwayne Haskins? He could look like the kind of guy that was tearing up for Ohio State. So if that's the approach they're having for this mock draft, Jamarr Chase is the guy. Pick 6 for the Jags. Yeah, you didn't tank for Trevor, but you need Justin Fields. Justin Fields over the next 5 years, Gardner Minshew over the next 5 years. Who gives you a better chance to turn it around? It's Justin Fields. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's the type of guy that, athletically, he's probably like Mahomes tier athletically. Like Mahomes is not a dual threat, but Mahomes is absolutely a guy that can get 50 yards and a touchdown, run it through the ground. And that's what Justin Fields does. He needs more experience. Hopefully he's out there for Ohio State. I don't think he's opted out yet. I don't think I've seen anything like that. So that's what he needs, man. He needs another strong year to solidify this top 10 pick, solidify that QB2 spot, and I think he does it. And then when you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you have a really good insurance policy. Minshew's, he's going to be that next Nick Foles, the next Ryan Fitzpatrick, the guy that's like, all right, you have a very good insurance policy. If things, you don't have to rush Justin Fields in because you can rock and roll with Minshew for the time being. And if Fields, because he is going to be a guy that's successful to getting hits because he is going to use his legs a bit, you have a nice insurance policy on the bench in Gardner Minshew. Pick 7, we're going back-to-back QBs. I have the Carolina Panthers getting Trey Lance. You have a Tyrod situation where you can have Teddy Bridgewater just be the quarterback until it's time to go to Trey Lance. And there you go. Teddy did his job. Teddy Bridgewater was a serviceable quarterback that played you in spot to get a better quarterback. I think that's a great fit. Trey Lance, with all those speed options they have at wide receiver, with Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, this is ideal scenario. This is perfect scenario one for Carolina, being able to get someone like Trey Lance and being able to have someone like Teddy where you don't have to rush Trey Lance. Pick 8, Miami. I have them going Greg Rousseau. Need to get more of a pass rush. Guy that's, might not be the perfect fit for a multiple front, 3-4, 4-3, whatever they're going to be running, but he is the best and highest ceiling edge rusher in this year's draft class. Miami's laughing. He's a guy that they just need. When was the last time someone on the Dolphins had double-digit sacks? Like, legitimately, I cannot tell you. Jason Taylor was like the last one I could say confidently had double-digit sacks for the Dolphins. Actually, that's embarrassing because Cam Wake. But that's a gap, though. The fact that they just kind of had Cam Wake and then Rousseau's good. Get Rousseau. Pick 9, Jalen Waddle. You have 2 big possession wide receivers and Devontae Parker. Well, not pure possession. He has some speed to him. But Devontae Parker, big-bodied outside guy. You have big-bodied outside guy in Preston Williams. And then you keep trying to kind of force Jakeem Grant as like the speedster shift. It's not working. He's a special teamer. You get Jalen Waddle. You get the chemistry with Tua Tagovailoa. You get a guy that's legitimately a dangerous wide receiver player. You get a guy that complements what you already have at wide receiver. It's a win-win. And very well, Jalen Waddle, while his size might be some concerns there, I don't think people are worried about, it's a lazy comparison to Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill is jacked. Tyreek Hill is ripped. He's not a thin wide receiver versus like Waddle and Devontae Smith are. But that is an unreal haul if you're the Miami Dolphins. Getting maybe the best edge rusher and maybe the best wide receiver at 8 and 9, improving both offense and defense significantly. That's as good as it's going to get if you're a Dolphin fan. Pick 10, we have Atlanta here, and I have Atlanta going in to get, my opinion, a guy that is the second best corner, and I have them selecting Shaun Wade. Maybe a little bit of reach last year getting A.J. Terrell, but absolutely not a reach getting Shaun Wade here, regardless of what the Draft Network's rankings have. I think you look at the Falcons, their defense is just not good enough. It's just not good. Offensively, they can score points on anybody. Defensively, not good enough. And at this point in time, at 10, who can fix that defense the quickest? Well, if we're going to hope A.J. Terrell can take his game to the next level, which he should, we got to get another corner. We absolutely cannot just keep going with whoever the hell they have right now in secondary, right? You got Oliver. What's going on there? You got the other dude from Ohio State a couple of years ago, fast guy, Sheffield. What's going on there? Let's get a legit outside corner that can help us shut down some of these teams and close out games. Suffocate wide receivers at the line of scrimmage. He's super aggressive. Shaun Wade fits that defense. I'm not going to say it's going to be a Dan Quinn defense because I don't think Dan Quinn's going to be there much longer. But that is a very, very good corner. And pairing that long term, there's some upside. Shaun Wade and A.J. Terrell can establish and develop into a really good 1-2 punch lockdown corners in the NFL. Pick 11, we have the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to have them go Marvin Wilson, defensive lineman, D tackle out of Florida State right now. You got as much edge rusher as you can get when they're healthy with Hunter and Yannick Ngakoue, but the inside is super soft. You need someone that can control the middle of that defense and let the edge rushers do their thing. And more so than any of the other D linemen. Barmore, you look at Tefele, Jalen Twyman, D tackles that I really do like. Wilson is exactly the kind of player that they need. They haven't had that. I mean, obviously they brought in Michael Pierce, the free agent. He opted out to take over for, and this is the third time I recorded the video. I can't remember his goddamn name. What is his name? Vikings D tackle 2018. Can I get a name, please? Because this is driving me nuts. So this is like the third time. Linval Joseph. You haven't got the guy to replace Linval Joseph. You get that in Marvin Wilson and helps out that defense. Sort out that defense, for the love of God. Pick 12. We have the Chargers, and I'm going to have them selecting Wyatt Davis. Improve the offensive line. They're a run-first team. You got a brand new quarterback. At this point in time, who is going to be the biggest impact playmaker they can get as they continue to build the offensive line? It's not Feeney. Guard play interior is bad. Wyatt Davis is top 5 in terms of safe picks, probably top 5 in terms of talent in this year's draft. Just guards don't go that high. This is a safe pick. Might not be a splashy pick, but it's exactly the type of pick that the Chargers need to make. They need to build up that offensive line to help out Justin Herbert. And Wyatt Davis is a day 1 upgrade and a day 1 starter. Pick 13, we have the Detroit Lions, and I have them selecting Rondale Moore. This makes kind of sense because they need another wide receiver. Marvin Jones not getting any younger. So you got to find that guy long-term that can go with Kenny Golladay. Yes. But the reason why I make this pick now because I think Matt Patricia gets fired, and I think the perfect head coach to come in and take over for Matt Patricia is Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. And again, while we always like to compare these small, fast, electrifying plays with Tyreek Hill, they're not Tyreek Hill. Rondale Moore can be Tyreek Hill in a new offense. He's not going to be the same explosiveness because there's only one Tyreek Hill. But what Tyreek Hill does for the Chiefs by going all over the field, in the backfield, special team, everything, that's exactly what you would get in Rondale Moore. You can see the Lions trying to do that with Agnew a little bit. It's just not working out. So Rondale Moore, exceptional player to have, but I'm going more so that Bieniemy should be the guy that comes in when they fire Matt Patricia and get him the guy, the gadget, the elite gadget type player in Rondale Moore. Get a guy that can help maximize whatever little bit you still have in Matt Stafford's prime. It's a win-win, man. It's a win-win. Pick 14. Well, this isn't going to happen, but I'm going to make it to make me happy. Philly gets Dylan Moses. Everyone knows Eagles linebackers suck. No matter how much we invest on the defensive line, teams will just kick the ball quickly and pick on our linebackers. No matter how much we invest in the secondary with Darius Slay, teams will just go, okay, well, let's just attack the center of the field. Their linebackers suck. It is a meme at this point. Dylan Moses will be a perfect fit. 6'3", 235, modern-day linebacker. Can literally, I don't think there's a single weakness for Dylan Moses at all. He is as good of a linebacker. He might not be as elite of an athlete as like a Devin White, Devin Bush. He is absolutely, if healthy, a top 10 player in this draft. Eagles need a linebacker. They never draft linebacker. This pick will never happen. But my God, Dylan Moses would be the perfect player for the Philadelphia Eagles. Bringing that to the defense, putting it all together. He's the type of guy at the linebacking spot that he'll make other guys around him better. You know, that's kind of what you need. Philadelphia, we're not going to invest a lot in the linebacker spot, but all he needs one. You only need one good linebacker, and they'll be able to elevate the play of everyone else. And that's exactly what Dylan Moses. So it's almost like getting 3 picks. You get Dylan Moses, and he's also going to make whatever 2 other linebackers, be it TJ Edwards, Davion Taylor, whoever it is, he's going to make them better as well. But we're not making that pick, let's be honest, because fucking Philly sucks at drafting. Anyways, pick 15 with the Chicago Bears, either getting Devonta Smith, wide receiver from Alabama. There's uncertainty with what do you call it, get a new contract yet? As far as me making this pick, there's still some unhappy contracts there with Allen Robinson, even though Allen Robinson should be ecstatic that Nick Foles is now the starting quarterback, because Nick Foles is the type of quarterback that thrives having an Allen Robinson type receiver. But either way, you have Anthony Miller in the slot. Who's going to be that other guy? You got Mooney, who's getting some reps right now. No, let's get Devonta Smith, a legit wide receiver here. Let's go over the top. You know, you look at the Bears, their defense is on point. Their defense is what's 3-0, keeping them 3-0 at this point. Offensively, I still think it's probably too early to give up on David Montgomery. Offensive line is solid. You could look maybe at a tackle here, but I would argue just bringing in a legitimate first-round caliber wide receiver, another skill position player to maximize whatever is going to be going on there with the quarterback spot with Nick Foles is the best bet for value here for the Chicago Bears. Pick 16. We have the Raiders on the clock, and I have them actually selecting Boogie Basham, defensive end from Wake Forest. They are still trying to replace Khalil Mack. You're getting some splash plays here and there from Matt Crosby. The dude that they got from Clemson last year is like, what's going on with that? You're still on the hunt for an edge rusher. You're still on the hunt for a guy that can get you 10 sacks. I think Boogie Basham, who made, I don't know who the guy that does it, but it's a top 10 freaks list. He should go off at the combine. I think for sure he's a guy that has a ceiling to get 10 sacks. You got to continue. You got to keep chopping at the bit, keep getting edge rushers, keep building and growing and developing. And what's the worst case scenario? You got to be like the Niners, where you just have a bunch of first-round talents on the defensive line. That's never going to be that much of an issue. Pick 17, we have the Cleveland Browns. Or I actually have them going defensive end and selecting Kwity Paye, the defensive end from Michigan. Athletic monster, athletic freak, terrific against the run, brings some upside against the pass, but I think more so this is a phenomenal compliment to Myles Garrett. You have Myles Garrett, who's going to be your double-digit 20, try to break the sack record if he's anything like he is in Madden. But you need that constant on the other side that can have gap responsibility and that can kind of, he's got to stay home, and he's got to affect the run. He's got to help control the line of scrimmage. That's exactly what you get in Kwity Paye. You get a guy, elite athletic ability, where he comes in as a really good run defender, and then you're going to have teams that are going to have to pick and choose. Teams are always going to double team Myles Garrett. That's going to free things up for Kwity Paye, who doesn't have maybe the best pass rush skill set right now, but you're going to be able to at least use and maximize that raw athleticism, where I think he's probably going to be the freak of the combine. Maybe not Montez Sweat levels, but from all accounts, he should be putting up better numbers or similar numbers at least to Rashawn Gary. And Rashawn Gary was freaky numbers, which got him drafted by the Green Bay Packers. So I think Paye here, bringing in a nice partner for Myles Garrett, makes a lot of sense for the Cleveland Browns to continue to improve that defense. Pick 18, the Jags are back on the clock. They got Justin Fields. Next up, I'm going to have them getting Caleb Farley. Looks like they got a good one there in C.J. Henderson, the corner out of Florida. Well, let's bring another one in. You don't have enough corners. You're still trying to replace Jalen Ramsey, A.J. Boye. Well, I think Caleb Farley and C.J. Henderson, it goes a long way. And there you go. You're only as good as your weakest corner. And I think this is what you got to do, man. Lockdown corner, 1-2 punch. Kind of like Atlanta. Atlanta got Terrell, and then they got Sean Wade. Jacksonville got Henderson, and now you get Caleb Farley. Lock them down. Let's shut some teams down. Pick 19, we have Dallas. I hate this pick so much. They get Kyle Pitts, mismatch nightmare at tight end. Oh boy, I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. It's probably going to be Dak, but the fact that they already look super explosive on offense, you got 3 wide receiver ones in Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb, and then you pair in Kyle Pitts. Hell boy, I hope Philly draft Dylan Moses if Dallas is in a scenario to get Pitts or even Freiermuth. There's going to be a lot of tight ends that are probably going to be on the board when Dallas can pick, and it's going to be annoying. Pick 20, we have the New England Patriots. This is maybe a little bit of a luxury pick because there's a lot of spots that the Patriots could get better at. Looking on the interior here, defensive line, sure. They could get a Barmore, Tefele, Jalen Twyman, absolutely. But their defense is still really damn good. It's their offense. They're still lacking explosiveness. And I'm looking at wide receivers. I'm not seeing a wide receiver, but I am seeing a running back here. Travis Etienne, home run hitter, should dominate the comp fast. Got like 4.3 speed, home run hitter. I'm thinking if you have Cam Newton in your offense, what is going to cause more headaches for an opposing DC? If you bring in a D lineman or you have a legit running back one and Cam Newton in the same backfield. I just think there's a lot of ways the Patriots could go here at pick 20, but I think making your offense and making Cam Newton that much more dangerous should be the top priority. And for me, that's Etienne. It's not Burkhead. You're not getting the same thing with Sony Michel in the backfield or Damian Harris. He's always hurt. Get Etienne, legit RB1, God's 1,000-yard rusher. Pair that with Cam Newton. We already saw what Cam looks like with a dangerous running back in Christian McCaffrey. Different style of players, but this is I think a solid pick. Maybe more of a luxury pick for the because you look at the Patriots, you could say they could be serviceable with what they have at running back at Cam Newton. And then, hey, we could use a D lineman or somewhere on the offensive line. Sure, could be a luxury pick, but this would be very, very, not wise, a juicy pick, a luxury pick. Literally, this would be like the equivalent of like when the Chiefs got Clyde Edwards-Helaire at running back. Didn't really need him. Maybe now that Williams opted in for the season, but same kind of scenario. Just make something that's already a strength even stronger for Bill Belichick. Pick 21, we have the Colts up on the clock, and I actually have them going on the defensive line and getting Jalen Twyman. I absolutely disagree him being 34 in this rankings. I think he's mini Aaron Donald, and I think when you look at the defensive line there for the Colts, you pair that with DeForest Buckner, good night. That might be the best interior edge rushing combo in the NFL. There you go. That's all I got to say. Scary defense. Colts need to get better on defense. Pick 22, we have the Arizona Cardinals here, and I actually have them going on the offensive line and getting Creed Humphrey at center. Interior offensive line is not particularly great. Right now, you're getting by the same approach that the Seattle Seahawks have treated Russell Wilson, where let's have a shitty offensive line because their quarterback can make plays. Hey, how about you just make your quarterback's life easier? Huh? That'd be good. So you get someone like Creed Humphrey. You can take the center guard that you got from Georgia a couple years ago, move him into guard. But Creed Humphrey, I think, is the best center in this year's draft class. Legit first round. He's number 10 in this Draft Network's rankings. It'd go a long way. It would go a long way in solidifying that offensive line. And a good center can kind of make bad, average guards play a little bit better. High IQ plays, always controlling. He's a high IQ guard. He does a lot of, what does it say here? Something about, he caused a lot of call-outs for Oklahoma. So he comes in with that experience and is exactly the kind of player I think you need to anchor that offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals. Pick 23. We have the Tennessee Titans. And here I have them going and getting Quincy Roche, edge rusher from Miami, formerly of Temple. But you kind of look, they have a 1-year rental on Jadeveon Clowney. They kind of threw, the signing of Vic Beasley shows that they're like, we need to sort at the edge rushing spot. So beyond this year, there should be a gaping hole at edge rusher opposed from Harold Landry. And let's get Roche, 235, perfect fit, explosive edge rusher for that 3-4. It helps out that defense. Pick 24, we have the Buffalo Bills, and I have them selecting Alex Leatherwood, tackle from Alabama. With this, you can put him at right tackle. You keep Dawkins to get that new contract at left tackle. Then you can move someone like Cody Ford, hoping you can put it all together because I think the talent is there. And you move him into guard because with how your offense is running, you need a great offensive line. You need a great offensive line to help Josh Allen with everything that he does. You need a great offensive line. How about now? You got a great 1-2 punch, hopefully, at running back between Singletary and Zach Moss. So let's continue to build up that offensive line because your defense is great and Leatherwood is good value. He has some guard experience. Wasn't as good as guard tackle at Alabama, but he is somewhat versatile as well. So that's a good fit there. Pick 25 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have them drafting Mr. Jay Tufele. He would be a defensive end in that 3-4. You could view it as he could probably earn the starting spot opposed from Hayward, but salary cap is going to be tight. One of the teams here, much like a team we're going to get to right after this, salary cap is not looking ideal for Pittsburgh. So regardless of what goes on with Hayward, he's at a point in his career that you need to get his replacement. You need to get his heir if he's still going to be on the roster, but he could also be one of those guys that push comes to shove, an expensive contract. I'm not saying they could cut him, but I wouldn't rule it out. I think Tufele is very, very good. I think he's the type of guy that is a perfect fit for a 3-4 edge. I think he's reminds me a lot of Jarrell Casey coming out of USC. And Jarrell Casey went on to be one of the most consistent and dominant 3-4 edge rushers the last 10 years. So that is a great fit there for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense if they didn't go with my hypothetical at the beginning of the video and look at trading this pick for, say, Sam Darnold. Pick 26, we have the New Orleans Saints, and I have them getting Tyson Campbell, corner. Again, same scenario. They're going to have a very tough time resigning some of their good young players. I'm looking at Marshawn Lattimore. Things could get a little sticky there. So either you get an insurance policy on probably the last... Adebo and McQuamu definitely could be first-round guys. But the last surefire first-round corner in Campbell, 6'2", long-rangey, 5-star recruit, should have a big year this year with Georgia. And either A, you get that partner that you haven't really had. I mean, you've seen them gamble like Eli Apple, trying to get someone that can be a suitable partner with Marshawn Lattimore. You can get that in Tyson Campbell. Or you get an insurance policy in case some expensive decisions need to be made down the line to get that salary cap out of the red. Pick 27, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here for this pick, I am going to have them select Christian Barmore, defensive lineman from Alabama. Good fit for that 3-4, can play all along that line. Dominic Sue's not getting any younger. And then now you have 3 cornerstone pieces on that defense that are young and in their prime. In the secondary, Winfield looks like a home run pick. In the middle, you got Devin White running things. But on that front, you got an aging Dominic Sue. I think someone like Christian Barmore would solidify that defensive front a little bit and can learn a thing or two from Sue at the time being. And at least, you got to keep matching what you're doing on the offensive side of the ball. You're getting Fournette and getting all these guys on offense. You need to make sure your defense you got to keep that balance. I think someone like Barmore on the defensive line would be a solid pick. Pick 28, we have the 49ers here, and I have them selecting the best safety, I think, in the draft, in Javon Holland. He does a lot of things. When you look at the 49ers, the biggest weakness is the secondary. Holland can play nickel corner. He can play free safety, which I think is where he's best. And you got to be able to get some special teams ability, day one. I think he's going to dominate the combine. He's a ball hawk, has proven production. And I think he's a guy that can just play center field and control things there for the 49ers. Exactly the type of player that they need. And at core, if you're looking at the rankings here, he wasn't even a top 30 player. He is honestly, I think, a perfect fit for what the 49ers need to do to fix that secondary. Pick 29, we have the Green Bay Packers, and I have them selecting Rashad Bateman. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. I think it's going to be one of the bigger storylines this offseason, whether or not they keep Aaron Rodgers and burn another year of Jordan Love's rookie contract, affordable rookie contract. Either way, you still need some wide receiver help. Because if you're going to Jordan Love, I don't know if Jordan Love will be able to maximize an Allen Lazard or Valdez Scantling. I think Aaron Rodgers is making average to solid wide receivers play better. So let's actually get some legitimate talent opposed from a Devontae Parker. And Bateman is a jack of all trades, master of none, legit first round. I think he's a 1,000-yard receiver. In terms of strengths, he's not, like I said, he's not a speedster. He's not a big power guy, big possession guy, but he does everything else pretty well. And I think he's a good compliment for kind of like literally Devontae Parker. When Devontae Parker was coming out, he was that guy who was like, first, second round type wide receiver. Not amazing, I think, but he's just good at everything. And I think that's the exact kind of thing that you're going to get with Rashad Bateman. And at the end of the day, a legit first-round wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers to make up for what was a horrific draft in 2020. Pick 30 here for the Baltimore Ravens. This is actually kind of a tough one. Looking at this board here, I in my original video that I did, that I re-recorded, I have them going Hutchinson, but there's I have no reason to justify that. Because edge rusher, sure, I think I'm going to go actually Carmen. I think Jackson Carmen is a guy that can slide into guard and just improve the offensive line. If I'm looking at guys that could slide into guard at this point, that it's him or Trey Smith. But Trey Smith has some medicals, so I'm not confident. But I just think, continue to improve that offensive line. As long as the Baltimore Ravens have an elite offensive line, their offense is going to continue to go. So let's improve the guard spot, 31. We have the Jets up on the clock again. Here, let's get a safety net. We're getting a safety net for our new quarterback, new franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence and Pat Freiermuth. Traditional tight end. If Kyle Pitts is still more of a receiver, this guy here is traditional as it gets. Can catch, high ceiling, legit first-round type player. Number 14 player, I actually think, in true talent here. So there you go. I mean, the Jets do not have serviceable tight. They have Griffin and Chris Herndon. Not good enough. So let's get a legit safety net there. A weapon, the best weapon available on the offense for Sam Darnold and or Trevor Lawrence, depending on how we're going here. And then we got pick 32, finishing up with the Kansas City Chiefs. And for my money, I think the Chiefs get Paulson Adebo, corner from Stanford. You need an outside corner. You got L'Jarius Sneed, safety corner hybrid. He's looking actually pretty good value so far. You got Honey Badger, safety, but they don't have a legit outside corner. And that's exactly what we get in Adebo. Good ball hawk, good press man, good for a Steve Spagnuolo defense, and help improve that secondary on a team that I think absolutely is favorite to probably win the Super Bowl again because they look absolutely unstoppable. So let's help out on that back end just a little bit. So there you go, guys. There is my depressed Eagles kind of early 2021 mock draft. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to be looking through the comments. It's always fun to debate these and agree and disagree with certain picks and where I went with certain picks. So I'll be looking through the comment section below. But thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Toronto Thunderbirds. So hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.